It is a tremendous, tremendous chos after spending an incredible Shabbos together with Rabbi YY and other people as well, to have Rabbi YY Jacobson come and speak in Yeshiva for Yeshivas Beis Dovid to give divrei chizuk and maybe even possibly even answer some questions from the guys. Rabbi YY.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, we did have an incredible Shabbos together, and I'm actually now on my way to the airport, and some people in my entourage are stressed out because it's late, but I did want to be here with you, even for a few minutes. And the reason I wanted to be here is because you are the future. You're the future of our people. Therefore, you're the future of our world. You're the future of humanity, and you're the future of Klal Yisrael and Am Yisrael. So it's really, I have the zchus to speak to lots of communities and audiences across the globe. But really, I consider this audience perhaps the most significant of all, because you're young, idealistic, and I see spirited, vivacious. You know English? You know what vivacious means? Okay, you'll find out tonight. You'll learn a new word, vivacious. Tell your mother, you're vivacious. Anyway, you're vivacious, spirited, alive, animated, and full of enthusiasm and chiyus and vitality. There's an amazing, a very powerful question that always perturbed me. The question that always perturbed me was, it's a very obvious question. You know, to call somebody wicked, to call somebody a Rasha, by definition means that the person had a choice, right? You don't say that a lioness is evil and a gazelle is moral. A tiger is horrible, immoral. A cheetah is immoral. And a deer or an antelope is moral. They didn't choose. The lioness didn't choose it. It's the genetic makeup of a lioness. What do you want a lioness to do? No, I'm going to starve to death. I'm going to let all my cubs starve to death. Part of the law of the jungle, how many choices does a lioness have to pursue her prey or not pursue her prey? The elephant decided that it's not going to eat meat, it's going to eat grass. These are all genetic dispositions. MS? Yeah. So here's the question. It says in Parshas told us this week, in the beginning of the Parsha, you know my question. Vayisroitzutzu habanim bekirba. So what does Rashi say? That in the womb of Rivka, remember, everybody knows this from second grade. In the womb of Rivka, before the problems. In the womb of Rivka, or after the problems already, if you're really from the lucky ones.
During the problems.
During the problems, very good. Thank you. In the womb, what does it say? When Yaakov, when Rivka went by, a yeshiva, when she went by this yeshiva, so Yaakov was kicking away. Let me come in, let me come in. And then when she went by some pagan idolatry monastery, Esav was kicking away. So now who decides what you do in the womb? You remember in the womb, anybody decided what to do? You thought about things, and you decided milk chocolate, pie of chocolate, Chinese food, lafa, pita, milchiks in the womb. You make these decisions. Barely now you don't make these decisions. Depends how much money you have in your wallet and how much you get from your father over the next week. So it depends on the budget. But in the womb, who makes decisions in the womb? So why are you calling Esav a Rasha? Who decided that in the womb he should be gravitating to Avodah Zarah? Could you answer me? Who decided that? Who do you think? Very good. Very good. Good. Or to put it differently, same answer, but I'm just going to put it differently. Genetics, right? His genetic makeup. His teva, his nature. So why are you calling him a Rasha? What chance did he have if in the womb he was gravitated to Avodah Zarah? So what do you want from him? What do you want from him? It's just not fair. Yaakov is this tzaddik, and Esav is this Rasha. It doesn't seem to make sense. Isn't that a good question? Don't tell me it happened in the womb. Say later he had a wonderful upbringing. Everything was the same. He was gravitating toward Yaakov. Later he made bad choices. Okay. What's the Havana here? So I'm going to tell you an insight. I had the schus to hear myself from the Lubavitcher Rebbe to answer this question. When I was a child, on Shabbos told us. So I'm giving it over to you, Klei Rishon or Klei Sheni, but hopefully Al Ha'esh. So he said something very powerful, and for me it was a game changer in terms of hashkafa, and you'll see why. He said one of the greatest I'm using my own words, but the teichen I heard from the Rebbe. One of the greatest mistakes people make in life is they equate struggle with value. They equate struggle with evil. In other words, they judge a person based on struggle. And that's a terrible, it's a painful mistake, and it's a wrong mistake. The fact that Esav was struggling with Avodah Zarah, that was not his choice. He couldn't choose otherwise. That was Hashem's choice. What he does with the struggle, that's where his creativity comes in. In other words, even if Esav would have been the biggest tzaddik Hadar, he would have never been Yaakov. He couldn't be Yaakov. To tell Esav you have to be like Yaakov is a lie. Because the creator of the world didn't make him Yaakov. Sorry, I'm not. Yaakov was Ish Tam Yoshev Eholim. Esav had PDD, ADD, ADHD on steroids. By the time he was in 8th grade, he was in 18 different yeshivas. You know that? They even sent him to Eretz Yisrael before Bar Mitzvah. You understand how the situation? And in Eretz Yisrael Gufa, he went like from place to place to place. And finally his father said, Esav, just come home. Okay, nobody gets you. Daddy gets you. It's an unbelievable Ramban. You could take a look at it. It says, Vayev Yitzchak es Esav ki tzayid befiv. Yitzchak loved Esav. Why? Because there was game, ribsteaks in his mouth. Literally, it means Esav would feed Yaakov every night. There was a barbecue. What do you call it? Grill ala esh? Grill ala esh. Ken b'kol laila mamash v'gam baboker. Haya grill ala esh me Esav. So the question is, really, that's why you fall in love with somebody, because he gives you steak? I sent a yeshiva bacher who's starving. I know you're not starving, you go to Rosh Yeshiva's house, you empty out the kitchen, but most yeshivas... It's good, he's smart, he knows you would break into the kitchen, so he just opens up the kitchen 24/7. What do you do with bacher? But you would think that Yaakov probably his biggest taiva... So his biggest time was the Ramban says, "Vayev Yitzchak Esav ki tzayid befiv." The Ramban says, and I quote almost verbatim. It's in Hebrew. You could look it up. Ramban says that all day Yitzchak would eat meat. All day Yitzchak would eat meat. Ki tzayid befiv was always in his mouth. You came to Yitzchak, there was a piece of steak in his mouth. You look at this Ramban. What? And the Ramban says, listen what the Ramban says. It's an unbelievable. You have a Mekrais Doilus there? Bereshus? I'll read it because most people don't believe me that the Ramban says it. They think it's like a YY clip. It is. It's going to be one, but it's a Ramban clip. Before my clips, there were the Ramban clips. They're just not on WhatsApp. But it's like an amazing line. I saw it the first time. I was like, whoa. Listen to this. V'yitachin, I quote the Ramban in Hebrew. V'yitachin lefarish. Vayev Yitzchak es Esav. Yitzchak loved Esav. Ba'avur ki befiv shel Yitzchak tzayid tamid. Tzayid befiv is lashon hoiva. In the mouth of Yitzchak, there's always meat. Always tamid. Kol hayoim yisava lecho l'satzayid. All day Yitzchak has one taiva. More steak. Well done. Rib steak. Okay? You got it? All not the half of the day, not dinner time. Kol hayoim, from Shachris, from Vesikin. That's from before Alois, because Yitzchak woke up for Tikkun Chatzos. So basically from 1 a.m. until he went to sleep, whenever he went to sleep, he was thinking about what? Another piece of steak. V'tamid hu befiv. He doesn't only think about it, it's always in his mouth. He came to Yitzchak, sorry, I'm in the middle of steak, I can't talk to you. Lo yoichel davar acher. We don't eat anything else. No potato chips, no sushi, no pasta, no protein, no vegetables, no vegetables, but not protein, fish, chas v'shalom. No gefilte fish, no hummus, no schug, rak grill ala esh. V'hu hamevi loy. And Esav is the guy who brings it. What's pshat in this Ramban? Huh? If I would say this, they would put me in whatever. It's a mechaya, right? You understand this Ramban? But I want to say one thing. The whole Shabbos, Yitzchak needed to connect to Esav. How do you connect to Esav? How do you connect to Esav? Sometimes you can connect to a person and say, come, let's learn Gemara together. So you connect to a person, let's learn Shulchan Aruch together. So you connect to a person, let's learn Tanya together. Yeah. I have to say it. I had to say. So you can go, let's learn Nefesh HaChaim together. Let's learn Chovos HaLevavos together. Very good. Okay. I said Gemara already. Taisus Yivamas together. Gevaldik. Rabbi Kiveger, Maram Shif, Berch Shmuel, Reb Chaim, whatever it is. You connect. Sometimes you got to connect to somebody, they're not interested. So you don't connect. You got to play basketball. You got to play football. You got to play baseball. You got to play soccer. Got to go skiing together. But how does Yitzchak connect to Esav? Esav is interested in hunting. So what does Yitzchak do? All he looks at Esav, where's the steak? And Esav has a geschmack. And a whole day, you're never going to catch him with anything else because a whole day he's thinking about how he connects to Esav. You see what a relationship means? This is what a relationship is. Esav can't be like Yaakov. Even if Esav becomes the perfect version of Esav, he gets the brachas, he works on himself. What's the final product of Esav? He doesn't look like Yaakov. You know why? He's not supposed to. He can't. First of all, he's a gingy, yeah. in a good sense. The Gemara says that David, it says about two people in Tanakh, they were gingies. You know who, yeah? Esav and David HaMelech.
It's a chiddush for a reason.
And when Shaul HaMelech said, when Shaul HaMelech called him an Adoimi, when Doye called him an Adoimi, if you learn Tanakh, Shaul got scared. He said he's like Esav. The Gemara says he had the qualities of Esav, because Esav was a warrior, Esav was a fighter, Esav was a very powerful person. David was also. The Gemara says, Zehoidik Midas Sanhedrin, Zehoidik Shalei Midas Sanhedrin. Esav became a wanton killer. And David was an Eved Hashem. But the same creativity David had. So what's the Nekuda? So you say Esav in the womb was gravitating to Avodah Zarah. Okay, that doesn't make you a bad person. What made Esav a Rasha was not that he gravitated to Avodah Zarah. It's what he did with the struggle. What does this mean practically? Never ever equate struggle with negativity. Never say to yourself, because I'm struggling with this, I must be a bad person, an immoral person. No. In fact, this may be your very, send my regards. This may be, you can take a picture to prove that you're not lying. This may be your very mission in life. Esav's mission in life was not to be Yaakov, not to be a goody-goody, struggle-free person. Esav's mission in life was to utilize his struggle as a platform, as a stepping stone for incredible growth. So now look at your own life, everybody here, and ask yourself, what are your three deepest struggles? What are those three things that if Hashem came to you tonight and said, Chaim, Mati, David, Yassel, Gershon, Label, Yisrael, etc. Yankel, whatever, Zundel, Shmedel. I'm giving you a choice. You could press Control, Alt, Delete on three experiences of your life. Control, Alt, Delete, we're going to scratch it out of the record. It never happened. Could be first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Could be a different father, different mother, different brothers, different sisters, different school, different Rebbe, different community, different height, different genes, different athletics, different characteristics, whatever you want, inside, outside. 3 stories, we delete from the record. Machaya, right? No. It would look that way. But usually it's the other way around. It's those things that I experienced, as the journeys I went on. It may be very difficult. Esav couldn't have had an easy life, even if he tried. It's not like if he would come to a therapist or come to his Rebbe. He had a good Rebbe, Yitzchak, Avram. Avram was alive till he was 15. And he would say, I'm having anxiety. It's not like you could snap your finger and take away Esav's anxiety. It's not like you could snap your finger and take away Esav's proclivity to addiction. You can't. In the womb, he was seriously struggling with something. The solution for Esav is, how do you turn your weakness into your strength? How do you embrace your situation and turn it into a catalyst for growth? How do you take your personality characteristics and your experiences, and instead of it killing you and destroying you, it makes you into a true leader. It makes you into a person of greatness. And that's why Yitzchak loved Esav, because he saw in his struggles and in his behaviors, he saw that there was a secret there, there was a struggle. He didn't dismiss Esav. He loved him, he cherished him. He understood his life as a different life than Yaakov, in many ways a harder life than Yaakov. So the struggle in the womb doesn't make Esav a Rasha, it just puts him in a different trajectory. You know what a trajectory means? It's a different trajectory. So in each person's life, it's extremely important that throughout life, everyone goes on a different journey. That's the fact. There's no 2 people who are alike. No 2 people struggle with the same thing. No 2 people have had the same experiences growing up. If you're an empath, you're a sensitive person, things go right in, right? And a comment from some stupid teacher or some idiotic principal or some, I see some of you relate to it. You want me to continue on this path, right? Huh? You want me to continue on this path? Yeah. The point is, imagine Esav coming into an institution, right? What would they do with him? They'd mutilate him. They would kill him. Because very often what happens is people, they have a certain box. I have a son who went to a certain yeshiva in the New York area. And he called me once Friday and I said, Mendel, how is the yeshiva going? And he says, it's excellent. So I say, do they put everybody into a box and you have to fit that box? So my son says, absolutely. This yeshiva has a box, and if you don't fit in, either they'll cut off your head, they'll cut off your feet, they'll cut off your sides, but you have to fit into the box, like an aron, but the same aron for every mace. Once you're dead, who cares? It's the same aron, it's fine. If you're alive, you need different boxes. Once you're dead, we'll just make it work, you know what I mean? Put you on a diet, a few days later, the worms will come, whatever, it's fine. So I said to Mendel, I don't understand. You're telling me that you love yeshiva, and then you tell me that they put everybody in a box. So he says, he was a young bachar. He says, Tati, it happens. Everybody's in love. It happens to be that their box happens to fit my character. It's my mazel, nobody else. But their box happens to fit my character. So maybe it works. So very often people, that's where they're comfortable. So if you fit into that reality, I can embrace you. If not, you threaten me. And that's a big tragedy, because the essence of Hashem is, the only thing Yiddishkeit says about Hashem is that it has nothing to say about Hashem. In other words, the only definition we have for truth is that we have no definition. The only definition we have for Hashem is that we have no definition. Why do we care if you make an image of Hashem? Well, who cares? So you make a picture of Hashem. If my little daughter made a picture of me, right? It looks like me, like a kangaroo looks like me. Yeah, but what do I do with the picture? I take it and I put it on the refrigerator. MS, right? It's a ridiculous picture. But you want to make your child feel good. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture of Tati. So what does Hashem care if I make a picture of him? Yeah, and I put it on the wall. What's the big deal? It's a cute little picture. Why? The moment you make a picture of Hashem, you're not just making a picture of Hashem. you're making a picture of what a person's truth is. You're making a picture of what you have to look like. And that's not life. The only truth is that it's undefined. It's infinite. So it has infinite expressions. Every person has their own unique way through which they manifest Hashem's light in the world. And sometimes this person through your sensitivity, and this person through their rough skin, and this person through their kindness, and this person through their discipline, and this person channels the light through the fact that they absorb things in a very profound way. Things affect them. And other people manifest the light in a different way. And you never have to copy anybody else. You learn from people, but never copy people. They once asked a 106-year-old woman, what's the advantage of living till 106? She said, less peer pressure. When we live in a world of peer pressure, and people impose that peer pressure, it's their own insecurity. So the uniqueness, the Ramban says, Yitzchak said, I don't care what Esav is here, all we do is we talk about meat. You know what I talk about? There's people who could talk about meat for 12 hours. Do you know that? Yeah. Yitzchak. That's what he says. He spoke about it all day, he thought about it all day, and he ate it all day. You know how you cut it, how you make it. You ever saw Jews in a restaurant? You ever go to a restaurant or you just eat here outside in Ben Yehuda? You don't? Oh, sorry. Okay. It's not kosher. So when you go to a restaurant, right, a Jewish restaurant, kosher, so the waiter goes from table to table and usually says, is anything all right? And then they'll ask you, you want it medium, you want it raw, you want it well done. And every Jew, they'll like between medium and well done. They don't want to miss, but also a little raw, but also a shtickle well done. Right? It should be good. So it's a whole, I don't know what the difference is. You eat it, it's cooked. I guess Michael ben Drusai. But the point is, it's not so pashut. And then how you cut, there's a whole way, that there's an art of cutting, you know that? Against the grain. It's a gewaldige art, it's not pashut. If you don't cut it in the right way, you're forcing the knife on the flesh. It's not the right way of doing it. If you cut the right way, the meat opens itself up to you and it lends itself. They call it a cut. It's the right cut. It's not a pashta thing. People go to university for this. I'm serious. You can become it's a whole chush. So the Ramban says that Yitzchak got a PhD in culinary butchering. Why? To be able to appreciate Esav, to be able to connect to Esav. That's what our patriarch did. He wasn't in a box. Yaakov, he sat with Yaakov and he learned Maram Shiv. He sat with Yaakov and he learned Chumash. He sat with Yaakov and they davened together and they connected together. Nichnasu lepardas, all the good things they did together. When Yaakov was there. But Esav, a different connection. So the bottom line is the lesson to each of us, and this is what I want to leave you tonight, Be'ezer Hashem, is but that throughout your life, never ever see your struggle as a proof that I'm a failure, that I'm bad, that Hashem hates me, that my life is ruined, that I'm miserable. And it doesn't mean you don't have struggles. Some of you may discover in life things from the past or things in the present that you're going to have to work through. And it takes work, and sometimes you cry, and you sob when nobody is looking, you grieve, and that's important to be able to acknowledge that. But with that, and together with that, you come and you say, this is not a punishment, this is not my blockage, this is my journey, this is my destiny, this is my shlichus, this is my vocation, and in many ways it's much greater than Yaakov. That's why he wanted to give the brachas to him. Esav in reality didn't go that way. He used the struggles as an invitation to become a murderer, to become other things, unfortunately. But Saf Kol Saf, Esav is also going to have his tikkun. The Vilna Gaon writes, it says in this week's Haftarah, V'oyev es Yaakov v'es Esav sanesi. The Navi says in Evadia, I love Yaakov and I hate Esav. So the Vilna Gaon says v'es Esav sanesi. I don't hate Esav, I hate the S of Esav. What's the S of Esav? The Gemara says whenever it says S, like V'rachatz es psarai, S is a superfluous, it's unnecessary. S is es hatafel psarai. That which is subservient to your flesh, which is the here, that also goes into the mikvah. There's Esav, and then there's things that attach themselves to Esav. Es Esav sanesi. Esav at his core is not evil. In fact, where's Esav buried? the end of his life, Esav ended up being buried by Yitzchak. I don't know if you know the whole story. Now there's a halacha, you don't bury a tzaddik near a rasha. How can Esav be buried near Yitzchak? The head of Esav ended up in Yitzchak's plot because Esav at his core is not evil. Esav at his core is very, very holy, very pure. The S Esav Sanesi. Esav, a lot of things got attached to Esav. Esav told a story about himself. He decided at some point, I'm evil, I'm bad, nobody likes me, the system hates me, I hate the system, Judaism hates me, I hate Judaism. But I always tell people, the biggest mistake is to equate Judaism with systems. Chas v'shalom. Never put Judaism into systems, and never equate systems with Judaism. Churchill once said, we create institutions to facilitate our dreams, and then we become prisoners of those institutions. That's for the British among us. So it's an important idea. The systems that were created to facilitate dreams. What dreams? Infinite dreams. Ein sof. But then we become prisoners of those systems. And suddenly, if you don't fit into my system, you're expelled from my system, and we start worshiping the system. Whenever you worship systems, remember you're worshiping idolatry. And I'll tell you why. Because what does idolatry mean? Turning Hashem into a certain frame. Systems have frames. Why are you putting Hashem into frames? You're not allowed to. Systems are wonderful. If you realize this is a way of channeling the light, but don't reduce all of Hashem to any frame. You get what I'm saying? Don't allow that to happen. You want to have the rebellious spirit to be able to reveal the oneness of Hashem in every aspect of life. So the Chiddush by Yaakov is Va'oyev Es Yaakov. Even the S of Yaakov was holy. By Esav, a lot of other things attached themselves. May all of you always have the vision and the strength and the stamina to be able to embrace yourself, all parts of yourself, the good and even that which seems like the difficult and the ugly, to be able to really embrace it, to be able to cherish it, to be able to make space for it, to be able to have compassion for it, to be able to cuddle it like you would a little child. Next time you have a struggle, give it a little cuddle. Say nice things to it. Say, I love you. I cherish you. You're mine. I'm going to take care of you. We're going to work this through together. Because it's through that you will find your ultimate light. Thank you very much.